Welcome to our introduction to our digital signage solution. In this video we'll demonstrate how to use our SignageStudio to build your signage presentation, as well as how to control your remote signage players. Our software also supports kiosk mode, which allows you to interact with the screen. You can use touchscreen LCD monitors and allow the users to make selection and navigate through menus. So let's go ahead and cover some of the key bullets. This is digital signage software as a service, meaning that when you open your account, you join our media cloud. Everything is hosted on our servers, and you can pretty much web manage your solution from anywhere. And at any point you can migrate from the media cloud onto your own private media server. You can pretty much use your own hardware, any hardware that you'd like, for the signage player, for the media player that will be connected to your screen. It can be a Mac, Linux, Windows, even an Android tablet device. We have two versions of our player. We have the Signage Player desktop version, which is more of a dedicated player that just a quick installation, and also we have the web player, which is simply the same presentation that can run also in a web browser. And the software is really amazing. It is packed with features from scheduling, media RSS, live TV, RSS feeds, you name it. So in the next few minutes we'll go over some of the features and I'll demo how everything comes together. So next we'll demonstrate how to open up your free account. Also we'll show you how to configure a signage presentation, and then show you how to install your Signage Player desktop version and register it with the same email so it gets associated with your account, so you'll have full remote control capabilities from the studio, so you can stop the player, start the player, propagate changes of the player. So we'll show you how to do all that. So over here we're looking at the login screen, and since we want to create a new account, we'll create the new account by pressing this button right here. And right here we're prompted with different templates. Now the templates are nothing more than just pre-configured signage presentations to get you up and running quickly. So we'll go ahead and select the first one, the hotel lobby, and click on create account. And at this point you need to provide all the information, so let's go ahead and provide that and pick a password and agree to the terms and click on create new account. And at this point you'll need to log into your email and verify your email so we can activate your account for you. And I went ahead and verified the account in the background, so I'll go ahead and click OK and click on save, and now I'm ready to start using my account. So at this point we're going to cover some of the functionality, some of the basic functionality of the studio, so you can figure out things and kind of get you around and know how to start building your presentation. So the first thing we're prompted with here is the screens. So let's go ahead and make a little bit more room here so we can see better, and maybe zoom out a little bit. And at this point we have one screen type. It's called Hotel Lobby, and it's set to be 1920 by 1080 with some screen divisions that you can kind of move around and configure. But what I want to make sure that you understand is that it doesn't mean that we only have one screen out in the field. It just means that we just have one type of screen, and of course we can go ahead and add completely new types. Now you can click on this plus right here. So let's go ahead and select the resolution for this screen. So let's do 1280 by 720, or you can also type your resolution manually. Click on next, and the system will go ahead and generate some screen divisions for us automatically, and click on finish. Now we can go ahead and rename the screen, so I'll call this hotel guest room. And because we opted for the system to create screen divisions for us, we have a total of 3 screen divisions that the system created. Let's go ahead and add a new type of screen division for this hotel guest room. Click on the plus right here, and it's screen division. Let's go ahead and rename this to screen division 4, and let's zoom in a little bit. And now you can start drawing your screen divisions any way you want, and we support layering and transparency, and really flexible, and you can do a whole bunch of different configuration with this. So we'll just go ahead and draw something like this, and this is accurate to the pixel, so you can see everything is presented to you over here on the right on the properties. So we'll set something like this, maybe another screen division right here. And the screen division, this is where you can have content actually playing, like videos and swift animations and images and weather and tickers, and that's where you can have all this playing. And as I just mentioned, we also support layering, so if you wanted to put a background below everything else, I can simply create a new screen division. And right now it's on top, so I'll go ahead and create it, call it background, and drag it so it's below everything else. So it's now below everything else, and now it'll actually show through other screen divisions. So you can see the system is very flexible. So I'll go ahead and just delete this for now, and go ahead and make this occupy the full size. So next we'll switch to the resources. The resources is probably the simplest module. This is simply where you upload older files such as the video animation, MP4, the FLV videos, Swift animations, images. So if we click on some of the resources we have here available, when you click on the Swift animation, you'll see this Swift animation running. And if we scroll down and select a video, you'll see that this Flash video is going to start running. And we also have a library of resources that you can use that we already made it available to you in the system. So if you click on the plus sign right here and go from shared, we have a ton of resources that you can take advantage of, such as we have video loops, and we have background and vectors, just a whole bunch of resources that you can take advantage of that's already part of the system. So again, very powerful stuff. So to actually upload a resource, we'll click on the plus sign right here and go from local, and we'll go ahead and take this graphs SWF file, double click on it, or hold down to Control key on Windows to select multiple files, and click on File Save to actually get it uploaded to the server so we can start using this. And if we scroll down, we have the graphs file right here, and there it is. The next section is the campaign. This is really where everything comes together. So let's go ahead and switch to campaigns. And the campaign is really where you're going to spend most of your time. So let's go ahead and create a new campaign. Right now we're looking at the hotel lobby campaign that came as part of the template that we chose. So we'll click on the plus sign right here to add a new campaign. And we'll go ahead and call it the test campaign. And we use the sequence for now. We also support scheduler, but for this purpose we'll use a sequencer. Click on next, and we'll go ahead and select the hotel guest room screen template that we created earlier as the output, and click on next, and go ahead and create one timeline. That timeline will be a total length of 1 minute, and click on next, and select the screen division that we drew earlier, and click on finish. So that's it. Now we have a test campaign with a single timeline in this campaign with some channels that are pre-assigned. Now you can see that all the channels are color coded, so I can see exactly what's going to play where. So you see that my blue is going to play in this area, and my green is going to play right here, and so on and so forth. I have a red narrow channel at the bottom where I can put a stock ticker or some RSS feeds. So to start populating the channels with resources, I'll switch to Toolbox, and right here my resources selection, I'll take this promo one and put it right here under my blue channel. I can double click on it or click on the pencil to load up the properties for this channel. And you see that right now it's playing my Swift animation. I have a lot of properties I can set. Support animation and just a whole ton of different properties you can set, and more Swift properties as well. And I can extend this to have this resource play for the full duration of the timeline in this blue channel, or I can also have it only play for about 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds I can actually switch into a completely different screen division. Switch over to screen divisions, and let's say that I want to go into full screen after 30 seconds, so I'll go ahead and put a full screen division. And notice that right now it's hollow. There's no actual channel that's assigned, so I can simply click on the screen division and assign it by taking, let's say, the blue channel, dragging and dropping, and now it's blue. Or if I wanted the green one to play right here, or if I didn't want to have a full screen, I actually wanted to have a different type of, maybe a 3 screen division configuration, then I can assign the channels accordingly by dragging and dropping. So now everything is color coded. And of course, I would need to fill the rest of the channel with resources. We also support components that you can put labels, videos, HTML websites, RSS news, tickers, media RSS videos, weather, webcam, capture cards, live TV. Everything is supported, so there's a whole bunch of stuff you can fill these resources or channels with. And also notice that right now we just have a single timeline. Now if I wanted to actually have another timeline play after this timeline is over, after this 1 minute is over, all we have to do is click on the plus sign right here and then add a second timeline. I'll just go ahead and click on finish to jump to the end, and I have two timelines, timeline 1 and timeline 2. So whenever timeline 1 is done, it's automatically going to go and jump into timeline 2. And the way you control the ordering is through the sequencer. Now for this test campaign right now, I just have a single campaign with two timelines. So if I switch over here to the sequencer, under this test campaign of course, you can see that I can control the timelines. I can actually control how many times each timeline will play through the repeat number right here. And I can also change the order by dragging and dropping. So in this case right now, we're going to have timeline 1 play first, and then when that's done, it's going to go ahead and switch to timeline 2. And of course you can add more timelines, or you can change the order of the timelines, so it's very flexible. Now if you didn't want to use the sequencer, you can also use a scheduler. If you go back to test campaign to load up the properties right here, you can switch to the scheduler. And if I go back to the scheduler right here, you see that the button changed from sequencer to scheduler. Now if I click on scheduler, you can actually start scheduling timelines by days and weeks, and you have just a lot more flexibility in when each timeline will play during each day of the month. But for this demo, we'll go ahead and use a sequencer. So I'll go switch back to my timelines and click on the test campaign to load up the properties, and again switch to sequencer, and again this button right here changed to the sequence. So we showed you how to create a test campaign and some timelines and some channels and resources. So that was pretty straightforward. And so now what we want to show you is how to actually assign a campaign to a particular player that you have out in the field. So let's say you install our Signage Player desktop version on a remote machine. You want to actually be able to control that machine, and you also want to assign it this particular test campaign. So that's actually done through the stations. Now notice that right now my stations are empty. I don't have any stations installed right here, so I will go ahead and need to install a new station. So to do that, you will install our Signage Player desktop version on a PC. It can be any PC. It can be this PC that you're watching this demo on, or it could be a PC across the world. It doesn't matter. So before I do that, I just want to make sure that I save my changes. Click on File, Save. And now let's go ahead and install the desktop player. Now I already pre-installed it, so at this point this is a Signage Player, and that's available for free from our website. Now you just need to register it with the same email and password that you created your studio account with. So I'm going to provide the same email and the same password and click on register, next, and register. And now I'm going to be prompted to select my campaign. Now remember, we created a different campaign, so I'm going to go ahead and select my test campaign, and I'll go ahead and name this station my test hotel and click on register. Now notice that it is connecting to the server. However, the Signage controller is not running. The Signage controller is an additional application that we run in the background, kind of like a watchdog. So if we switch over here to the program files, Signage Player Win32, you see that we have this Signage controller, and you just want to make sure that this auto executes on the startup folder when your PC boots. So we'll just go and double click on it to run it, and go ahead and minimize this, and you see that now the Signage controller is running. And now let's go ahead and switch back to our studio, and notice that now I have this test hotel station that's all of a sudden appearing right here that I can remotely play, stop. I can do a live snapshot. I have all the properties. I can actually switch the campaign that this player connects to. So I have full remote control capabilities over this new Signage Player that I've registered. You can also explore some of the other things we support. For example, over here under navigation, you can go to editors, which allow you to build scenes where you can position multiple objects under different XY coordinates within a scene with animation, kind of like Flash CS. We also have a background MP3 music player, as well as a catalog database engine. So a lot of different things you can do with the system. As we mentioned earlier, you can also go over here and embed your presentation inside a website. If you click on the Signage player right here, you can take this HTML code and embed this onto a website and watch your presentation run inside an HTML page. Thank you for watching this, and let us know if you have any questions.